Of listeners with the word AM 590 WEZE Boston.
It's God's side and the other side. It's up for all of them. It don't matter.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's been a fantastic week. If you're a Red Sox fan, it's been an up and down week. If you're an NHL or an NBA fan, and what can we say? Life goes on. It's not always about sports. Yeah, life is about sports for most guys, but it's not always about sports all the time, every day, every hour. We have to take some time out to have a different part of our life, right? Have some sort of social life, right? What do you think, Kevin?
No, I think it's all about sports.
It's all about sports.
At least it's all about sports for the first hour we're here. Then you can do whatever you want.
It's all about sports. It's not about, you don't have a social life. Forget about that.
Sports is social life.
That is it.
Yes.
Stop going, you got it. Everything you need is right here in sports. Okay. I believe that we are here in the victory in marriage and the prayers for spiritual warfare. Prayers for victory in spiritual warfare. We are here in the victory in marriage, which Kevin doesn't know anything about. You need a lot of victory in marriage, Kevin. And I'm married. I can tell you this you can take a lot of losses in marriage, but if you can get a victory, you're ahead of the game, especially in today's atmosphere of people not being able to stay together for a period of time. So let's put on the breastplate of righteousness. Father, your word tells us there is none religious, not even one. That's pretty tough. Neither I nor my spouse is righteous, and we definitely are not perfect. I look to you, Lord, to perfect us in the many areas we need to grow. As you perfect us, help us to remember that we will never fully be perfect and to give each other grace for our weaknesses and imperfections. Help us to view each other through lovers, kind, caring, and patient eyes. Help us not to look to each other to meet all of our expectations. Only Christ is perfect, and only He can meet all of our needs perfectly. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. That's a good prayer.
Very good. Good way to start the day.
Especially for us married people. We're not perfect. You always look at your spouse going, I wish she would put this away. Or, I wish she would stop doing that. In my case, it's being in the kitchen and not being able to find anything. I feel like she hides things on me. And, no, she doesn't hide it. It's probably in plain view. I just can't find it. Thank you, honey. Thank you, honey, for keeping everything clean, neat, organized. Miss Oyama Morris, without you, the place would be a mess. So thank you. All right.
Thank you for that, Clay. All right, then. Why don't we get in today in history? Again, the phone number, 844-249-5247.
Don't we have a word of the day?
We have a word of the day, I guess. This is all you. This is the word rambunctious, I guess you think is going to be used a lot today in the program. So do you want to explain that? What is it something you woke up with and said the word rambunctious is going to be used a lot today? Or
I think it is.
What's the context here for our listeners?
It came from some dictionary saying that today the word of the day is rambunctious.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting. I think very fitting.
Yeah.
I think very fitting. Alrighty then.
I thought we might use it.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see. Anything goes here in the show. We'll see what happens. Let's get into today in history here. A couple of questions for us.
Today in history. Today in history, on June 14th, 1926, in Paris, France, in the French Open men's single title match, Frenchman Henri Cochet won his first of 4 home titles, well, because he was French, defeating fellow countrymen, their rambunctious Rene Lacoste, 6'2", 6'4", 6'3". That's right, that Rene Lacoste, a.k.a. La Crocodile, and the man who created the Izod polo shirt line. I think we have a little picture of him. There he is. Looking stylish. Rene Lacoste in heavy crochet.
Yeah. No relation to Garrett Crochet.
No, not
no
yet.
R in the
No R
in that last name.
But I think crochet is French also.
Yes.
Yes. You might be related. Just forgot to use the R. Maybe. All right. What do we got next here?
Anything else on the tennis question?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Thank you very much.
We're gonna let that go.
Okay. Very good. Back to baseball. On June 14th, 1969, at Fenway Park, in front of 22,000, as Clay likes to say, rambunctious Red Sox fans, in a game that lasted, well, a very long time.
Very long time.
Reggie Jackson set a new Oakland Athletics, no more the Oakland Athletics, but at the time the Oakland Athletics franchise record by knocking in 10 RBIs to beat the Red Sox 21-7.
21-7. That's a football.
That's a great football game. Exactly
Yeah.
right. Football score. Reggie had 6 at-bats that day, 2 home runs, a double, 2 singles, and walked once. If you add that up, well, you'll see the Red Sox got Jackson. Didn't get Jack.
Yeah, they didn't get him out.
They didn't get him out any at-bats.
At any at-bats.
That's Reggie Jackson with the A's, not Reggie Jackson with the Yankees, by the way. Great player.
Yeah, great player.
And there he is right here.
Looks pretty good in this Oakland A's. I know those on radio aren't seeing this, but if anybody streaming this, they're seeing this. That Oakland A's. What is that? Yellow and green, and white.
Those are the days back at the Oakland Coliseum. No more though.
No more.
No more.
Gone,
but not forgotten.
Never.
Don't bring it up to any Oakland fans. They're very not happy.
Oh,
They're not happy,
gosh.
but I don't blame them either. And then you get the final question, Clay, and then we're gonna get into our topics.
All right, let
today.
me get to that. On June 14th, 2007, at the NBA Finals, Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers in front of a sold-out Cleveland crowd at Quicken Loans Arena, 83-82 for a 4-0 sweep. Defeated them at home, right in front of the home crowd. Just took the life out of them. Just put a stranglehold on them, started choking them, and wouldn't let go. And yes, Cleveland lost. LeBron choked, and that was it. That would be the first of LeBron James' 6 final losses. He trails only Jerry West with 8 and Elgin Baylor with 7. But we all know that LeBron James is a stat man, and I'm sure he's not going to rest until he tops West. That rhymes.
That does rhyme.
That rhymes.
Talk about your first NBA Finals going up against Parker, Ginobili, Tim Duncan, Greg Popovich.
Yeah. Well, I think he's gotten used to losing by now.
And the Spurs would come back, 8 years later, and with Kawhi Leonard too, and beat LeBron
again
when Miami. And that was, of course, the last time we saw the last game and the last playoff run that LeBron was with the Miami Heat, which brought him back to Cleveland.
Yeah,
so,
they wouldn't
full
fire,
circle.
Yeah, they wouldn't fire. What's the coach's name over in Miami?
Eric Spoelstra.
They wouldn't fire him.
Longest tenured coach now with Popovich.
Yeah, so LeBron said, "I'm out of here."
Yeah, well,
if I can't get a coach fired,
he wore out his welcome. Yeah,
if I can't get a coach fired, I'm out of here. I'm the guy here.
Yeah. Well.
Well.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Anyway.
844-249-5247. 844-249-5247. That's our number. 844-249-5247. Call in. Let your voice be heard. We don't want to listen to ourselves talk to one another. We talk to one another all the time during the week. We talk to ourselves all day. We're kind of tired of our voices. Let's hear yours.
And let's hear the voices now of a couple of our great sponsors, Dillon's and Karma, and then we're going to get into the discussion starting off with the Red Sox in just a few minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, how would you like to feel better, stand straighter, and enjoy daily activities without pain? Then look no further than Karma Don Yoga. As one of the more accomplished yoga instructors in the New England area, Karma embraces many different styles of yoga, including vinyasa, slow flow, yin, and restorative, in order to tap into your pranic energy and create a balanced mix of healing, stretch, and strength. Find her and her very affordable classes online at karmadonyoga.com. That's karma, like good karma, bad karma, dawn, like the morning dawn, yoga.com. Hey, are you feeling a little achy or sore from the cold weather? Then take a visit to Dylan's Russian Steam Bath. At Dylan's Dry Sauna or Wet Steam Room, you can de-escalate, de-stress, and detox your body and mind. A hot place of massage or a variety of oil massages are available. You will enjoy the relaxed atmosphere that features a nutritious snack bar, large screen television, and comfortable lounge chairs to cool off in during your visit. They have 2 convenient locations, one in Chelsea and the other in Quincy. Find them online at Dylan's Russian Steam Bath or call 617-549-3484 for more information. To enjoy your best health, visit Dylan's Russian Steam Bath, where heat, steam, and water have a therapeutic effect. Gosh, you gotta love that music. Gotta love that.
Great musical interlude. Very good. Thanks to Dylan's and Karma for what they do. Keep us on the air each and every weekend here. By the way, you liking the new frontward facing me?
Good look. I mean,
if we look at the, if you're watching the stream, Clay didn't like how I was sort of looking out to the side the past couple
I didn't think it
months.
showed his best side. I think his best side is frontal.
Too kind. Anyway, not about me. It's about you and all of everybody out there listening. So why don't we get into the topics at hand? We'll first start with the Red Sox. And, well, my friends, the Red Sox...
Gosh.
Stop where you are. They've won 3 games in a row.
They're on it.
6-4 in their last 10 games. And, well, some folks are saying, is it time to turn the page with this Red Sox team? Are we finally seeing this Red Sox team where they need to be and where we thought they were going to be? Well, I'm not prepared to make that statement, but I am prepared to say that, yeah, I like what we see and what we should be seeing. Really, the way they've been playing the past 10 games now is what we should have been seeing all season long, really. And, it's really been great to see. And the Red Sox have won their last 2 series. It took 2 out of 3 at home against Tampa Bay. Went to the Bronx last week, obviously. Dropped the first game, then won the next 2, quoting Saturday night and on Sunday night as well. Walk-off win against the Yankees on Friday night, but behind a great performance from Garrett Crochet. We'll get into that. But, yeah, it's great to see what this Red Sox team is starting to do. And 2 more games against the Yankees, and then before they head out to the West to face Seattle, San Francisco, and the LA Angels, who, of course, the Angels came to Fenway and took 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox about a week and a half ago. So an interesting trip coming up. Giants playing really good baseball in the midst of a 7-game win streak. The Mariners are obviously always in the wild card, and the Angels have proven themselves to be a pesky team this year with a healthy Mike Trout. So that being said, a lot of baseball still to be played here, and Alex Bregman, some good news. What we're seeing is we hope, the Red Sox do hope that Alex Bregman will be back before the All-Star break, which is
just
coming up
away
in about a month. So that's good news as well. And, Cedar Rafaela starting to swing the bat a little bit better here in the month of June. Trevor Story starting to swing the bat a little bit better in the month of June. And, of course, the big news that we've been talking about, well, for the past couple of weeks now, finally, we see Roman Anthony called up here and now official Boston Red Sox. And, well, we want to welcome Roman. He's been 1 for 15. He struggled a little bit at the plate in the first couple of games, but as Clay told me, we got to give the rookie some time to adjust here, and that is true. But finally, we see Marcelo Meyer. Finally, we see Roman Anthony, and I think the addition of them, even though Roman Anthony hasn't contributed much at the plate, his presence certainly is sparking a bit of a renewal from this Red Sox team.
The kid definitely has a presence to him.
There's no doubt about it. Clay, we got a couple of phone calls. We want to go to that before we get into it?
Let's get to that.
All right, let's go to our friend John's on the line. Fire us up this morning. John, we're talking about your guys who you predicted to come up, Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer. What's the buzz around Fenway Park? Good morning to you.
What we got?
Hey, you know what? Hey, guys,
hey, John.
I'd be very ecstatic with this Red Sox team if we had good leadership between Alex Cora and Breslow. They were in the perfect situation, and they knew this. They were going to bring up Meyer. They were going to bring up Roman Anthony, not burn these guys out. How about Carlos Narvaez, the catcher, who is probably the best player on the team?
Oh, yes.
And Wilmer Abreu. If Breslow wasn't so stupid to deal Kyle Teal, the catcher, who was the number 1 prospect catcher in baseball, for a bag of baseballs. I don't know. Who did he even get traded for? I can't remember the deal.
Well, actually, he was part of the Crochet trade.
Yeah, he was. So that, I mean, you had to give a lot to get a lot. And I think in that case, I'd take Garrett Crochet with the way he's pitching.
You're giving the number one catching prospect in baseball. Give him a number one pitcher. I mean, there's plenty of pitchers, I'm sure, that the White Sox. Listen, the White Sox wanted a dumb salary and get rid of Crochet. But how pretty would the Red Sox be sitting right now if you had Meyer in the lineup, Roman Anthony, Rafaela, a healthy Bregman, and Kyle Teal is the backup catcher to the Player of the Year, the Giancarlo Narvaez. I can't say his last name. I mean, I think he came from the Yankees, right? No one even heard of him last year.
But I don't think he's a rookie. I think this is the second year.
Yeah, well, he played 4 games with the Yankees last year, so I think he still qualifies as a rookie. There's a certain number of games.
But you know what's funny? What's funny? I kind of watched minor league baseball, and I remember the Yankees years ago. Their big prospects, of course, were Aaron Judge, Volpe, and Gary Sanchez was their catcher. I never heard of this Carlos guy. You're saying he played 4 games last year for the Yankees. His bat is unbelievable. You can use him in any situation.
I love him.
I even saw him try to bunt once.
But this guy,
imagine a Red Sox catcher putting down a bunt.
The guy is hitting cleanup. They got this guy batting cleanup, and he's cleaning up.
It's someone that should be in the cleanup spot, not Christian Campbell. That's for sure.
Should have never been there.
Hey, Kevin, don't sell him short. He's a young kid.
Yeah, no.
He looks like he's got a lot of energy, and he started off like a house of fire.
Nobody's selling him short here, John. The thing that we've talked about here is Alex Cora never should have put him in the cleanup spot for that situation. Never should have. Never should have done that.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, it's going to be an interesting July, August, and September. They're going with the youth movement. I mean,
John's excited.
None of this picking up Jason Johnson at the trading deadline, a journeyman.
John.
Pitcher Mark Lemke.
John.
They used to do every. Go ahead.
John, can I ask you a question? I mean, the youth have got you going.
We're throwing out all sorts of names.
They have got you going, John.
And when do you remember I can't remember the Red Sox youth movement since 1975.
Well, they're building from within.
Fred Lynn and Jim Rice.
Yeah, give me 3 youth players after 1975 that were starters. You cannot. They like getting the retreads. They like getting the Jason Johnsons, the Mark Lemkes. They like getting the guys that are 5 years past their prime. I'm even happy with Chapman. I was so against them signing him because I thought he was 5 years past his prime, and he's been a solid.
He's been throwing 105 miles an hour, John.
36 years old.
How can a human being's arm throw a baseball 105 4 times in a row?
Oh my gosh, he's throwing.
I could see his spot. I could see his spot pitch at 100 to 203.
Okay, so what's your prediction, John? Going forward. What's your prediction? Until the All-Star break. What do you think the Red Sox are going to do? That's 1 month away. Exactly 31 days.
I think they can hang. Hey, Clay, what do they have left in the minors? Do they have any other guys that can steal bases and stuff?
Yeah, they got the guy with the hard name. Last name is Nixon, but his first name is Justice or something. I don't even know. But yeah, they got him.
Okay. Yeah,
they got Ariel Arias. They got an Arias guy down there.
They're going with these young Latino players.
Listen, I still like Sogard. I think Sogard's a good player.
He was great. He was good. A perfect fill-in player.
Right. So I think they still got a lot of good players. And they have a pitcher, a very big, dominant pitcher who reminds everybody of Crochet. Who's coming up? I think he's in Double-A. He might be coming up to Triple-A soon. So they got some players.
Right. You know what? How about this? What's his name? Hunter Robbins or Hunter Dobbins?
Hunter Dobbins. I love this kid.
And Richard Fitz. I just can't believe they're doing it with the youth. This is
don't blink your eyes. Don't blink your eyes. If you blink your eyes, John, they might sell off the youth and be back with the old guys. So don't blink. Just keep your eyes open. I
hate to say you could be right, but hey, I'll tell you something. This American League East is not the toughest division in baseball.
No, I don't. I don't. Yeah, I don't. I agree with you. I think the Orioles are certainly having a down year. Toronto is hanging around. Tampa Bay is always going to be feisty and always around the 500 mark with their players they're able to produce.
And the Yankees aren't that good.
And the Yankees are leading the American League East per se, but the Red Sox have poked holes with them for the past couple of games they played them and have really had their number in the 4 games they played them, even though 3-1 so far. So. I think you're right. I think you're right in that, and I'm not prepared to say this Red Sox team is going to make the playoffs. I think it's way too early to say that, but
it's way too early.
Hey, we like what we see, and let's keep it moving. But John, we got to run here. Thanks so much, and always a pleasure.
Thank you, John.
Keep up the work. You guys are the best in Boston.
Good man. Thanks, John. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, firing us up early here today.
Well, the youth movement. See what the youth does.
Well, I've been a big proponent of what Dave Dombrowski did, and that was win now and bring in some veteran guys.
Yeah, you are.
And that's how the Red Sox have always won. Really, is surrounding themselves with veteran players. I wouldn't say they're retreads or guys that are 5 years past their prime, but guys that have come in and can immediately contribute. Have been in situations like that, and with the exception of Alex Bregman. The Red Sox really don't have, well, with the exception too of Rafael Devers, of course, but the Red Sox really don't have that player. And hey, it's working now. I think my big question is, Willie Abreu was put on the injured list, rather.
Right.
Question is when he comes back, and the question is when Alex Bregman comes back.
Right.
What do you do? Because now you have a situation where you just don't have enough room for all these people. And as I mentioned, Trevor Story is starting to swing the bat. The Red Sox are not going to trade Trevor Story. Trevor Story is getting paid a lot of money. What team is going to take that contract? What team is going to take that contract?
I don't know if it's really about the Red Sox trading him. I think it's the latter, what you said. What team is going to take him?
Exactly right. Yeah. Exactly right. And I'm not going to advocate for Trevor Story to be traded. I believe Trevor Story, if he can continue what he's doing in June, stay healthy. Trevor Story, obviously not the Trevor Story of 5-6 years ago with the Colorado Rockies. That is for sure. But I'm willing to give him some time as
he looks good defensively.
Exactly right. As the months go on. So let's continue to have him here. And but no team with the way he's played, no team's going to take that contract.
And also, I think if we really add it up, he didn't really play for 2 years.
Right.
I mean, he
exactly
right. So
with injuries,
his timing and everything is off. I think they should give him to the end of the season to see what he can do.
Right.
It's just they have so many. They only have so many positions, and they have too many players. They still got the other guy down there who's on the DH, the
Yoshida.
Yep.
That's going to be a great question too. All right, so back to the phones. Talk to Wayne. Is on the line. Wayne, good morning. Welcome on in.
Hey, Kevin.
Wayne,
good morning. How you guys
sorry
doing?
for making you wait, Wayne.
No worries. I'm actually in upstate New York.
Oh my gosh, here we go. The lifestyles of the rich and famous. No wonder he has time to research Maya Moore and all kinds of things like that.
Yeah. What do you got for us this morning, Wayne?
Well, I'm just calling in. I'm excited that the Red Sox are doing well again, but I don't watch them on the TV. I listen more to Will Fleming and on the radio,
right.
And I would take him with anyone. He is appointment listening and viewing. He just brings a different excitement to the game. Do you ever listen to him?
They do a good job. Dave Fleming, obviously, it's no easy task replacing Joe Castiglione as the number one guy calling Red Sox games on the radio. But Will Fleming has done a nice job. He's partnered with Joe the past couple of years. I think it was a great move for the other station to bring him in. And I think a lot of people have transitioned over to listening on the radio as opposed to maybe watching games on Nesson on TV. And no disrespect to Dave O'Brien. I know Dave O'Brien gets a lot of grief because not his fault. The Red Sox decided to fire Don Orsillo, I believe it more than 10 years ago now, to replace him with Dave O'Brien. But that being said, I think you're right. It is a different sort of feel listening to a game on the radio than watching it on the television. I think that's fair to say.
Oh, and he brings so much excitement to the game.
Insight,
with all his,
a lot of insight.
With his humor. Oh my gosh, I love it when I'm driving home from work and the game is on the radio. I'm in my car. I can't turn the guy off.
What channel do you get it on?
I get it on EEI,
Okay,
93.7.
Yeah, WROL,
Okay.
right?
Oh, yes. Yes. So, yeah, I'm here in Cortland, New York right now. My friend's daughter's graduating from high school, and she's going off to American University in D.C.
Wow.
So we're in the Finger Lakes area.
Oh, well, how's the weather up there? Because it's misty and gray on the usual Saturday.
The fog is. It rained last night. The fog is lifting right now.
But you're living in a cabin. I'm sure you're in a lodge up there, right there, lodge right on the lake.
Yeah, well, I'll take some photos and send them to you, Clay. You're gonna love this place. I'm downstairs in like the finished basement down here with a pool, and oh my God, it's incredible. It's
living the life,
incredible.
living the life.
One day when I grow up, I want to be like Wayne.
That's for sure.
Hey, Wayne,
Anyway,
what are your predictions on the NHL? And because NHL is just crazy too, and the NBA going forward.
I know whatever the outcome is, they need to get Connor McDavid more viewing time. That man is such a talent. I mean, it's a crime that we don't see a lot more of him. But I still like the Oilers to take it, and I like to see the Pacers take it. I like what Tyrese Halliburton is doing, and everything is looking good. I mean, the youth movement, as Joe was referring to, in the NBA is extreme right now. The NBA is in great position with this youth movement.
I think the NHL is in great position right now. If they were to take this series,
I agree.
I mean, and really market it. I think the NHL is more marketable than the NBA right now because just listen, because their players aren't wearing. You can't if they have a bunch of tattoos, you can't see it. If they have long hair, you can't see it. All you see is a straight, clean-cut person skating around on ice, running back and forth, sweating like they're in a sauna. And, nobody's making any waves or sitting down at the national anthem. So I think the NHL is so marketable, and they're not hitting it because Connor McDavid is a talent. Right now they have Chuck, they have Perry, they have I'm just talking about the whole series.
Leon Draisaitl, Brad Marchand.
The guys they have in this series are top-notch players. And it's just like the NBA series right now, as far as I'm concerned. The two of these guys, both series, if they market these series very well, they'll get viewers forever. Right. And take it overseas, show it to Sweden, and if this is the NHL, show it over there to the ice countries. I mean, even though it's from we have the best teams in Florida, but anyway, show it over there to the ice countries that actually appreciate hockey. Get this out there. You can't beat this series. This series is great, and I think the same for the NBA.
And I think too, and just on a final point in the NHL, we'll have a longer discussion on the NHL in a little bit in the show. But as much as Boston Bruins fans here would love to see Brad Marchand win another Stanley Cup, albeit with a different team, with our loyalty to him and our love for him, really, I think there's no player more deserving of a Stanley Cup than Connor McDavid right now with the way he's played. And I think it's a great series. What we're seeing, tied 2-2, going back to Edmonton. Mm-hmm. Edmonton was down 3-1 in the last game in Game 4, and looked like Florida, who had control, was going to go into Edmonton with a 3-1 lead, but not the case. I think no player more deserving than Connor McDavid. And really, it's been great to see the NHL with a great Stanley Cup, and obviously we talked about what they had at the start of the year with the Four Nations tournament. I think the NHL, the profitability, the viewership, everything is going right.
Everything
in the National Hockey League.
Push it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't sleep on my love, Ryan Leonard. I mean, for the Washington Capitals from BC.
Where do you get these names from?
That's too bad, Wayne. What the Washington Capitals, who had the best record in the Eastern Conference all year, and couldn't get past the Carolina Hurricanes in a very surprising series.
Yeah, they fought a good fight, but I think Leonard is he's gonna do some nice things in the NHL. So he's got a great baptism by fire after playing in the Bean Pot. They're losing to BU and all of that, and then
wait.
Well, he wouldn't be.
Wait, hold up, Kevin.
What's that?
Does this guy know more about? he seems to know more about hockey than we do, Kevin.
I think so.
He's just bringing up names out of who is it?
Well, and we know Wayne is our Boston College super fan. So
oh my gosh.
Ryan Leonard certainly wouldn't be the first NHL player to have some such in the NHL, right, Wayne, from BC?
Here with us. You're coming on here with us. You're going to sit here with us one day.
Yeah.
So that we're not looking like stumps on a log.
Oh well. All right, Wayne. Well, on that happy note, thanks so much, and enjoy your time up there, and we'll talk to you.
Enjoy
your time. To you actually
take pictures.
Talk to you next week.
I will. Thank you, guys. Have
Thanks,
a great
Wayne.
show again. Thank you.
All
Bye.
Right.
All
the guy
good.
comes on and just
all good fun.
It just pulls names out of nowhere as far as wow.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great talent.
Tennis,
women's basketball.
Women's basketball.
We've had racing discussions.
Oh my gosh.
Everything. That's great.
It's embarrassing.
Hey, Clay, Carlos Narvaez batting .327 since the start of May, 32 games with the Red Sox, has solidified himself really as not just the great starting catcher, but really an X factor for this Red Sox team. And who would have thought if you told me at the beginning of the season that we'd be sitting here on June the 14th here on Saturday morning in Boston, and a question was posed, who do you think the Red Sox X factor is going to be at this point in the season? I'd say Rafael Devers, Alex Bregman, assuming he didn't get hurt, Garrett Crochet,
Roman Anthony.
Someone with the team. Yeah. Carlos Narvaez. First of all, I wouldn't even know who he was if you mentioned that name to me.
I didn't know who he was when they were mentioning the name early in the year.
But he has really, really solidified. He's 26 years old. It's great to see. Obviously, I think he should be in discussion for an All-Star appearance, maybe even consideration for Rookie of the Year as well.
He's had a great swing.
He's had a great couple of months here, and let's keep it going here.
He's got a great swing.
His counterpart, Connor Wong, who many thought was going to be the Red Sox starting catcher going forward, has not. Has had a really horrible year offensively, and
there's no way he can beat this kid.
And he's fallen off the face of the earth. We rarely see him in games now, and there's a reason why. Carlos Narvaez is exceptional. The Red Sox have this weird thing with catchers, is that they're able to get these catchers that nobody's heard of. You remember a guy that I really loved here with the Red Sox because he really excelled behind the plate catching Chris Sale, and that was Sandy Leon, who had a great time with the Red Sox in 2016 and 17, and offensively, he came alive as well, and the Red Sox have had a weird success with getting some catchers you'd never heard of, but are able to come in here and really start to contribute. Narvaez, obviously, a little younger than Sandy Leon is, and it's great to see, and he's performing very well. So very happy with that. And guys like I mentioned, Rob Refsnyder contributing, Romy Gonzalez, who was hurt for a little bit. He's coming in batting .321.
That guy,
it's
surprising because he's been on the roster.
Yeah, exactly
for
right.
2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
but this year he's looking like a big league player.
But every time he's going to get at bat, he's going to give you his all, and he's going to get on base.
He's going to fight. I just love Narvaez's swing. I saw him when he hit that walk off. There was almost a home run, and he looked like he was looking low, but the ball came high, and he adjusted, and just that quick, whammo!
Right.
Just it was to the deepest part of the park, and almost made it out. Right. It should have, another 2 feet would have been out of the park.
Exactly right. The Red Sox, of course, winning on Friday night, Game 1 of the series against the Yankees, 2-1 in 10 innings. Walk-off RBI single from the man himself, Carlos Narvaez. Garrett Crochet, a strong outing.
Crocheting. He's doing this.
Do you think Alex Cora was right to keep Crochet?
No,
and put him in there for the 9th inning?
No. He had. Isn't that what your closer's for?
Right.
Isn't what you got this 105-mile-an-hour flamethrower?
Mm.
I don't give a. It's your job to win games, not win sentiments here.
Right.
So the guy's gone this route. This is why you have that closer. You bring him in. You close the door, and the guy does not need to go around 3 times, 4 times in the lineup. Get him out of there. Save his arm. You end up pulling him anyway, so you just made yourself look like a big fool, which is what you are. and I mean that there almost cost the Red Sox the game. I'm not going to say yes because I'm not with the team, but it almost cost the Red Sox the game. The fact that Alex Cora didn't have the cojones or the wherewithal, the smarts to do what everyone else was thinking. Pull your starter. It's not important that he goes 9 innings. Who cares? Winning the game is the important thing. So get him out of there. Bring in Aroldis Chapman. Set the Yankees down, and you win 1-0. You won't have to go into extra innings and waste more talent, and personnel, and energy. Right. And you know what? Let's get to the question of what do I think they can do. All-Star and after the All-Star. This is the reason why I don't trust the Red Sox to go as far as they should go. And the sky's the limit with this team. If you know how to, if the manager can manage it right, and who am I to say that I'm a better manager than than Alex Cora? I don't think that's my point. It's just about making good decisions. And I don't see good decision making happening from the manager level on up. From that decision last night, okay, from the decision of putting Christian Campbell, placing him in the cleanup spot for a month, when it was clear after a week, no, this was not where we should be. I don't even know where he got the idea that the kid should have been there. But okay, give it a good week and a half, get him out of there if he's diving the way he was diving. But no, he left him in there 2 more weeks and a half. Breslow not having the power to pull Cora aside and say, Alex, get this kid out of the cleanup spot. Why don't we try this kid, this guy Narvaez? Why don't we try William Abreu? Why don't we try somebody who's been on 2 years, 3 years, a guy who can handle the pressure of being in the cleanup spot? Breslow not having the power to do that. It's ridiculous. The fact that Devers didn't play first base and then didn't play third base. I don't trust this team going forward all the way to the end. I think they're going to give us a roller coaster ride, but I'm up for the roller coaster ride. Who doesn't want a roller coaster ride? I want it. Let's have some fun, but I don't think they have what it takes character-wise, from the players to the manager or to the management, to go all the way.
Well, that being said, I've always said here on the show that this Red Sox team is a 1 step forward, 2 step back type team. The Red Sox have started to play really well, and then they start to take a step back. They start to play well, start to take a step back. Obviously, they play, I think, out of all games they played all year, all series, whatever it is, they played their best baseball so far. Yes. I think there's no question. And even though Roman Anthony, in his 16 at-bats, 1 for 15, hasn't really contributed offensively, as I mentioned at the outset, the presence of Meyer and the presence of Anthony, I think, is sparking this Red Sox team.
Sparking the veterans.
Yeah, we saw Marcelo Meyer with a great game against Tampa Bay the other night, 2 home runs, contributed to the Red Sox win. I mean, these guys are contributing well to this team. So I think that's great to see. One thing that Garrett Crochet is missing, Clay, you know what that is? That's his first win at Fenway Park. A lot of people haven't realized that he has not won it. No, he didn't get the win because of the home run, and then they took him out. Mm-hmm. And by the way, he had struck out Aaron Judge 6 straight times before that home run.
3 straight in that game.
Exactly right, and made him pay. So anyway,
the Judge is going to get you eventually.
That's for sure.
He's a great batter.
That's for sure. Well, more to say in the Red Sox in a minute with our closing thoughts. Let's go to the phones. Welcome on in, caller. From where you're calling, good morning.
Hey, Marlon, calling from Atlanta.
I knew it was Marlon. I got to recognize the number. Marlon, good morning. Welcome on in.
Good morning. Calling to talk you guys off the ledge here. These Red Sox drive you guys stir crazy up there.
Yes, they do. There's no doubt about it.
I see what they're doing. They're sparking a little interest. I haven't really been following them. They're sparking a little interest, but there's still quite a few games out of the.
They're only 8.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only
two back of the third wild card.
That seems like a mile compared to listening to the the conversation you guys are talking. It seems like it's like 10 games back. So I'm just laughing. But anyway, I'm not going to take too much of your time. You guys have had a lot of energy today with a lot of callers. So I'm calling to talk about the Panthers and the Oilers.
Yes, please. A great series. Game 5 back at Edmonton coming up.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 2's a wild. I mean, the NBA 2-2, NHL 2-2. It seems like there was some similarities with the Oilers and the Panthers to some of these games in the NBA. I mean, these guys, it's a really physical series. I think if you would have avoided some of those penalties, that game may not have been as close as it was. I think some of those goals that were given up. I mean, it's hard. You're down 2 players and it's 5-on-3. What are you going to do? Eventually, you're going to give up something. So, but it's turned out to be a really good series.
And what do you think?
Moving on.
Who are you feeling is the better team? Who's going to win it?
Honestly, I really think.
Come on.
I really think the Panthers are going to pull it out. I'm going to stick with it. I mentioned it last week. I think the Panthers are going to pull it out, but I really love that Oilers team.
Connor McDavid.
I like what I see in them.
Have you seen him?
Yeah. Have you seen him?
No, he just heard about him. He just heard about him this morning, Clay. Yeah.
I mean, I have to admit, I've only been like in and out with the games, and then so this happened to be one of those games where I flipped to it and I said, okay, you know what, this is I got to stay here for a minute, and I'm watching. I'm sitting there thinking this is a little bit more exciting than I thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. But really quickly, I think the Oilers are a really exciting team. Really, it looks like they may be the OKC. They have a lot of energy, but somehow these games have been really competitive, and I got an itch. I think the Panthers are going to pull it out. It's just really been a really great series. NBA, really quickly. I'm zooming through here really quickly. NBA. Clay, you know where we are. I'm OKC. You're Indiana, but this is the coaching has been phenomenal in this series. They make adjustments, and we'll see what Carlisle does in Game 5. But I was talking to Kelly earlier, one of your other callers, and I said that whoever wins Game 5, they better dump everything into Game 6, because a Game 7 can go anywhere. It doesn't matter where it's being played; it can go anywhere. So whoever wins Game 5, they better try to close it out in Game 6, because this has been a great series, and you just can't assume that if you get to Game 7, someone's going to be able to figure something out and get it done. You just don't know what they're gonna. What Game 7 is going to have.
I want to assign the usual various titles and labels to people. Like, I'll say that SJA is soft, and the Hartenstein's just a hack man. But these guys go beyond some of the labels that you want to give them. I mean, they're actually. I still think that the referees are calling it soft for SGA. He went to the line I don't know how many times last night. Him and Jalen Williams. So I believe that they are still trying to call it for OKC. But the guy keeps pushing it, and he's pushing hard. Both teams are really pushing, and it's exciting to watch. I think is what I want to say.
Yeah, and I've been talking to different people who have saying, there's a game within the game. This is one of those series where if you don't watch the actual series, you won't really see the chess match between the coaches or the different pieces that they're trying to plug in from game to game. It's just really been a competitive series. I mean, the coaches are pretty evenly matched from what I see. Right. And I know that, Rick Carlisle's resume is extensive, but I'm liking what I'm seeing in this series.
All right.
Well, both NBA and NHL Finals are tied up 2-2.
They're cooking.
So it's great for viewers, great for both leagues as well. So,
okay, Marlon, we're gonna have to run. We have to do a commercial and some other things.
Finish up some stuff. Marlon, thanks so much.
Marlon.
Always a pleasure.
Marlon, I'm still taking the Pacers because of Carlisle and Halliburton.
I got you. Not a bad pick. You guys have a great one.
You too. Thanks so much. All righty then, as we approach the final 10-minute mark here on the show. Clay, any more points of the Red Sox before we move on? Or I was just saying before we went to the call that Garrett Crochet has not had a win at Fenway Park. I think the Red Sox need to give Garrett Crochet a little bit more run support when he's out there. He can't do it all. Leads the American League in strikeouts, in the top 5 for ERA. But the Red Sox, for whatever reason, when he's on the mound, don't give him run support.
They need to pick it up. Pick it up. There's no excuse for this.
So let's keep it going. Obviously, our discussion of the Red Sox for the past month has been very doom and gloom. You may notice a little bit of more excitement in our voices here this morning, and well, that's great. We would hope that continues as the weeks and months move on with the Red Sox team. And I will say, though, I think if it was any other manager, I think this Red Sox team would be in a different situation. But that being said, the Red Sox still one game under 500, 35-36, 2 back of the third wild card. I don't think the division is in hand. But John is right earlier what he said. The American League East is not as dominant and strong as it used to be. So we'll continue. Red Sox 2 more games before they head out west, and
hopefully they take the Yankees,
and we'll go from there. Yeah. Welcome Roman Anthony. Welcome Marcelo Meyer. But if I'm Alex Cora, it's going to be very interesting when Bregman and Abreu come back, what to do with some of these guys and where to put them as well.
Let's let the future take care of itself.
All right, very good. All righty then, enough on the Red Sox here today. We're going to say hello to our friends at Oyama Investments. Then for the final 10 minutes of the show, talk a little bit about the NHL and the NBA, assuming we're not talking about the Patriots, even though Clay mentioned we were going to. But anyway.
Haven't been able to get to them.
Okay, that's all right. Anyway, we'll have plenty of time as the fall
Right
gets on. Anyway, Oyama Investments, if you're looking for a smart investment or searching for a place to call your home, well, we want to welcome you to Oyama Investments Limited, Foundation. At Oyama Investments, they're more than just your real estate friend, a trusted partner in building a secure future. Whether you're investing in a property that'll grow with you or purchasing a dream home, they make the process easy, transparent, and also rewarding. They specialize in finding properties that align perfectly with your goals. Imagine yourself owning a piece of the future, whether it be a luxury apartment, luxury space, or a family home in the perfect neighborhood. And if you're new to the real estate investment world, well, they're here every step of the way, helping you make informed choices with confidence. With real estate prices rising, never been a better time to invest. Ready to see your dreams come to life? Visit oyamainvestments.com. Give them a ring, 617-221-8881 today, where your vision becomes a reality. That's good friends at Oyama Investments.
Yes.
All right. We have a great sponsor here in our community of sponsors here on the show.
And we'll take more.
Yes, that's for sure. All righty, about 8.5 minutes to go here on the show as we transition away from talking about the Red Sox and pick up our discussion now on the NBA and NHL Finals, Stanley Cup Final, going back to Edmonton, tied up 2-2 between the Oilers and the Florida Panthers. And, Clay, 2,500 miles separates Sunrise, Florida, and Edmonton, Alberta. That makes the record for the longest distance between teams in a championship, traveling all that distance. And now we're going to head back. Now it's going to be 1-1 now. It's not going to be 2-2. So I think it should be in my opinion, it should be 2-2 and then 2 and then 3 and then 1-1. So the home team gets 2 at home, the away team gets 3, 4, 5, and then if you had 6 and 7, the home team should get 6 and 7. It's just a lot of travel. It used to be that way.
It used to be that way.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a lot of traveling between those teams.
Yeah, forget it. Give them the first 2 at home, next 3 away, then bring it back home and let the chips fall where they may.
Right. But anyway, Game 4 was great to see. Obviously, Florida was up 3-1 in that game, and
it was great. It was great to see if you're.
I was going to say, I shouldn't say blanket. It was great to see. It was great to see if you're an Edmonton Oilers fans or you really don't like the Florida Panthers.
Oh gosh.
But I think for an avid NHL fan, but beside the point, it was great hockey to watch. With the Oilers coming back and the Panthers scoring, obviously in the last 18 and a half seconds, to advance to overtime. So we'll see.
I thought it was 30 seconds. Was it 18?
I think it was about 18 seconds or so in that game.
That was just barely.
Exactly
barely
right.
got it.
Right, exactly right. And the Oilers, by the way, they trailed 3-0 in that game before they went to 3-1, and they were outshot 17-7 through the first 20 minutes. They battled back though with 3 goals and ended up winning
4 goals.
4 goals, and then the 5th goal in overtime.
That's what made it go to overtime. Yeah.
But I think guys like you mentioned, veterans like Corey Perry, sort of have sparked an inspiration in the locker room. He is huge. He's been around for years. Obviously, many people know him, obviously, with the Anaheim Ducks, but he's come and sparked a fire within the Edmonton Oilers. And he, as players said, he spoke up in the locker room and addressed his teammates during the first intermission of that game. And Leon Draisaitl said it best, saying, we wanted to come out strong tonight, but they put us on our heels early. We were kind of lollygagging around a little bit. Certainly not the time to lollygag around, especially after getting, he said, spanked in Game 3, which they did. And he said Corey spoke up, that being Corey Perry. And when he speaks up, you listen, you do what he says. We did a great job of grabbing some momentum and keeping it. That's what they did. And you need a player like that in the locker room. Reminds me of in a different sport, but if you remember the 2013 World Series, the great infamous dugout speech of David Ortiz rallying up the team. So you need that veteran in the locker room that has been in these situations before.
David Ortiz spoke, you listen.
Exactly right. And in this case,
I have a feeling Corey, because Corey Perry is a big guy.
Yeah,
he's not a huge.
I just look. I mean, his resume, Clay. He won the Stanley Cup in his second season with the Anaheim Ducks back in 2007. He's gone to 5 more Stanley Cup Finals from 2020 through 22 and then 24-25 and looking for his second Stanley Cup. So he's been in these situations before.
Yeah.
And it was only won one, but he's looking for that second. And
let this one get by.
And I think, as I mentioned before this series, you have two well-coached teams, two evenly matched teams, well-balanced. This is no surprise that these two teams are back here in the Stanley Cup. Last year, we saw Florida up 3-0, and we saw Edmonton come back and bring it to a Game 7, win the next 3 games, and they couldn't get it done. Right. This time, it's a different situation. It's 2-2, heading back to Edmonton, in danger of them being down 3-1 heading home. They wouldn't allow it. I think the goaltending has been stellar. I think Sergei Bobrovsky obviously has been in these situations before and has done an excellent job. But it's been a great series, and we'll see what happens Saturday night. Game 5 in Edmonton, tied up 2-2.
Is it tonight?
Tonight, Saturday night. And by the way, as I mentioned, we're on WROL in the morning on Sundays. So. Just happy Sunday to everybody. Happy Father's Day to everybody listening to us on Sunday morning. So if you're listening to us on Sunday morning,
you will already
know what happened.
Yeah,
so,
and we don't know.
Hello to you in the future.
And call us on Saturday if you're listening on Sunday. These games, it's gotten to the point now where it's almost too much excitement for me. I mean, because you said it's tonight. I'm like, I want to watch it. Then I'm like, no, I don't. No,
8 o'clock tonight.
No, I don't. I really don't want to watch it. I'm beginning to feel a little trepidation because anything could happen with these teams. And even if my team, whichever team that I'm rooting for, I believe has a great chance to win because they are at home or whatever the case may be, it's not always the case. It changes just that quick. And in hockey, because of sudden death overtime, nothing lets you down faster than the opponent scoring that overtime goal in sudden death. You're at this high, you just go, bam, you hit the ground, and you just look at the wall for about 15 minutes.
Right.
Not knowing, what to do.
I mentioned the goaltending has been good for Florida. The Oilers had to pull Stuart Skinner, their goalie, for the second time in a row after being down 3-0. Head coach Chris Knobloch elected to pull Stuart Skinner for, as I mentioned, the second game in a row. And it's very interesting to see what the Oilers are going to do here with their goaltending situation going forward as this series progresses. Obviously, as Leon Draisaitl said, they did get, as he said, spanked in Game 3. Was not a pretty sight, losing 6-1, obviously, in Game 3 in Florida. But we'll see what happens as the series progresses. And in the final 2.5 minutes here on the show, Clay, I know you have a couple of thoughts on the NBA Finals, and that series also tied 2-2. Would have been 3-1 without Mr. SGA himself. And as folks looking on the stream, you can see Tyrese Halliburton. Go ahead, Clay. I know you've got a couple of thoughts.
Well, it's really hard to judge what's going on in each team. I think adjustments are being made by the head coach, and they're coming out and they're executing. So as much as I want to say it's just the refs, and to some part I also want to say, I mean, it's ridiculous that they had 23 free throws between Jalen Williams and SGA. That's ridiculous. But still, Indiana had a chance to win, and they didn't pull it out. The other team came in, OKC Thunder, with intent. They scored repeatedly, and they played defense. And I think some of the defense they play, you could call more fouls on, but they're allowed to get away with it. And in the end, it's going to have to come up with something.
Right.
I don't know what's going to happen.
SGA scored 15 of his 35 in the final 4.5 minutes of that game. They rallied from a 10-point second-half deficit. Obviously, ended up winning the game 111-104. Heading back to OKC for Game 5 in that series.
Disappointed.
The Pacers were in control most of that game.
Most of the game.
And they really, I think, have been control for most of the series. But the Thunder obviously were not going back, did not want to go back home down 3-1.
And they could
teams,
do it. They're good enough to affect the outcome.
This is an interesting statistic. Teams with a 3-1 series lead in the NBA Finals have gone on to win the championship 37 times in the past 38 chances.
But it's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. That's for sure. So anyway, 2-2 in both series, NBA and NHL.
Yes.
And I think good for both leagues.
Yes.
And we'll go from there.
Just do it right, NBA and NHL. Do it right.
Exactly right.
Okay? Represent.
Right.
None of this craziness. Just represent your players.
Right.
Get out there and market the players. And don't market any ideologies. Market the players.
Sure.
Let's get back to that. Okay. And you won't lose all the fans that you lost over the last 5 or 6 years because of going in the direction where you're marketing ideologies. Nobody cares about ideologies. We care about good, hard, clean playing and competitiveness.
There we go. Well, time is up. Happy Father's Day to everybody, all the fathers out there. Happy Flag Day today. And I'm not here next week. Clay will be here. So have a good weekend, everybody.
I'm gonna have a picture of Kevin. Don't worry.